Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever wondered why certain people can just effortlessly command a room, turn a completely dry subject into a thrilling narrative, or always seem to know exactly the right words to use? Well, today we're decoding the fascinating communication strength theme. We're going to unpack exactly what makes these individuals tick, how they process the world around them, and how we can all better understand the true power of words.
To really get this, let's dive right into a core metaphor. Silence is absolutely not golden. You see, for someone with the communication strength, a quiet room isn't peaceful at all. It's honestly just a missed opportunity. Their energy completely thrives when ideas are being shared openly, and conversations are vibrant and alive. They're literally energized by interaction. For them, thoughts aren't fully formed until they're spoken out loud.
Grounding our analysis today in the SwitchOn Strengths framework, we are going to explore exactly how this specific profile operates. This framework is great because it helps us look at strengths not just as fun personality quirks, but as highly specific modes of operating. We'll be looking at the roles they play, what they bring to the table, and most importantly, what they fundamentally need from their environment to truly thrive.
So, by definition, a communicator is someone who loves expressing ideas through words, stories, and presentations. But notice the emphasis here on bringing concepts to life. A true communicator takes dry, perhaps overly complex ideas and transforms them into highly engaging, memorable experiences. They aren't just reading facts off a sheet. They're using vivid language, well-placed examples, and really sharp metaphors. Their primary goal isn't just to inform you, it's to capture your attention and inspire you to take action through the sheer power of their word pictures.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the power of expression.
To really grasp this theme, we have to look at how it projects itself out into the world. It is highly active, it's highly visible, and honestly, it's pretty impossible to ignore. I'll rapid-fire some descriptive words for you. Expressive, verbal, interactive, conversational, engaging, right? These are not passive traits. Communicators naturally fall into roles as storytellers, presenters, and explainers, because fundamentally, they're processors who just love sharing ideas and connecting with people through the medium of language.
Moving right along to Section 2, Inside the Communication Style.
So it's one thing to see the outward result, but what's actually happening internally? Someone with strong communication talents inevitably becomes the voice in the room. You know the exact type. When a meeting is completely stuck in the mud, they're the ones who can summarize all the chaos and suddenly get everyone nodding in agreement. They carefully choose their words to create understanding and an emotional connection, basically acting as the vocal engine that keeps the group's momentum moving forward.
And we can brilliantly illustrate their internal mechanics by contrasting them directly with the intellection theme. While someone with high intellection needs to retreat to a quiet place to formulate their thoughts, the communicator absolutely has to process outwardly. Their motto is, "I think and learn best when I can talk with others." If they're just sitting and thinking quietly, the gears aren't fully turning. They literally discover what they think by hearing themselves say it.
Similarly, when we compare it to the context theme, we see another super fascinating distinction. Now, both might talk about the past, but the underlying motivation is entirely different. The context theme uses history to help people remember facts and understand origins, but the communicator, they use storytelling specifically to build immediate emotional connection and engagement. For them, the story is just a vehicle to bring the current message to life and make it stick in your mind forever.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, Superpowers, the balcony view.
In strength psychology, the balcony represents a strength shining at its absolute brightest. Up on the balcony, communicators are incredibly charismatic. They use their very presence to make people feel interested, deeply connected, and energized. When you're around a communicator operating at this high level, you don't just hear their words, you feel their enthusiasm. They have this almost magnetic ability to draw you right into their world and make you genuinely care about whatever it is they're talking about.
Breaking that down a bit, their greatest superpowers lie in a few specific areas. First, they are famously easy to talk to. Plus, they've got this strong storytelling ability that completely captivates audiences, and that's true whether it's a huge auditorium of 500 people or just a casual one-on-one chat over coffee. But arguably their most important superpower is their knack for creating meaningful connections. The words are just the tool, right? The ultimate goal is forging a genuine, lasting bond with their audience.
But of course, we have to look at the flip side in Section 4, Pitfalls, Basement and Blind Spots.
Because every bright light casts a shadow.
Down in the unmanaged basement, this brilliant expressive trait can drastically pivot into becoming excessive or even unintentionally self-focused. Without self-awareness, the very same trait that draws people in can become the exact thing that pushes them away. Think about it. What happens when this incredible verbal energy isn't channeled properly? The desire to express can accidentally just run right over someone else's need to contribute.
So they have to actively watch out for these basement struggles. Things like talking way too much, interrupting, or monopolizing discussions are constant risks. Because they naturally think out loud, they might just keep talking while others are patiently waiting for a turn, effectively holding the entire conversation hostage without even realizing they never passed the invisible talking stick. And if left completely unchecked, they risk seeking too much attention or coming across as showy and self-absorbed to their peers, even if that is never their actual intention.
And that leads us directly into their common blind spots. Because they do think out loud and are so incredibly focused on the verbal realm, they risk completely missing vital nonverbal cues. They might assume that just because they've spoken a motivating sentence, everyone is automatically motivated, forgetting that actions speak a lot louder than words for many people. The absolute biggest trap here, though, is prioritizing their own expression over actually understanding the person sitting right across from them.
Finally, let's bring it all together in Section 5, Thriving as a Communicator.
Knowing all the highs of the balcony and the lows of the basement, how do we actually design an environment where a communicator can strike a balance and truly thrive? Well, it's all about symbiosis. We know what they bring: signature clarity, captivating storytelling, energy, and connection. But to deliver that value, there are things they absolutely need. Mostly an audience. They need spaces where they have the freedom to share openly and feel genuinely heard. If you put a communicator in an isolated silo where conversation isn't valued, their energy is going to completely drain. They absolutely require a conversational environment to activate those incredible talents.
So we'll wrap up this explainer by leaving you with a provocative thought. If you personally have this strength, ask yourself, are you balancing your brilliant expression with a true deep understanding of others? And for all of us, when looking at our own teams and families, who is the voice in your room? And how are you giving them the space they need to clarify your shared ideas while ensuring everyone else still has room to speak? Thanks so much for joining me in decoding the communication strength. Keep reflecting on how you harness the immense power of words.